Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. Today we are reviewing a watch from Pagani Design. No surprise there. We're diving into their back catalogue as they have updated their PD-1651 model. One of the first watches that I reviewed, but I think it was actually the first Pagani Design watch that I reviewed. And that's because they homage one of my ultimate grail pieces, which is the Rolex Yachtmaster. Now they've improved the bezel on this piece, and I am going to go through all of the other aspects of this watch so you can have a little bit of an updated view on it. It's definitely one that's starting to sit into the back catalogue and people are kind of starting to forget about because of the amount of releases that they have had in the recent years. So this one's been sent to me for free by the Pagani Design store on Aliexpress. I don't have to send it back. The link in the description is an affiliate link and that will lead you to their store. It is priced at £86 at the moment. If you have any coupons or anything like that, try and apply them. Save yourself as much money as you possibly can. With that out of the way, let's turn this camera around and let's look at this watch. So back to probably one of the best Pagani Design releases that I think they've ever made. This is their homage to the Yachtmaster range. We do have a few dissimilarities to that range. However, I do think that on a budget, this is one of the best homages that you can get to one of those pieces. It is the PD-1651. This one's been sent to me by the Pagani Design store on AliExpress. This is their latest version and they've made a couple of upgrades they've made a couple of changes that they would like to make people aware of. Firstly, let's talk about the basics. So it is a 40.5mm diameter here to here. It is 13mm thick, 48mm lug to lug, and we have 20mm lugs on this piece that holds this really nice Jubilee bracelet. Now it's obviously powered by our ever loving NH35 movement. Keeps the prices down, however it does perform very, very well. Exactly what we would want in a budget watch, to be honest, an automatic budget piece. 316L stainless steel throughout this one. We have a high polish finish to the sides with a really nice level of brushing to the lugs. The brushing on the lugs really does flow into the bracelet very nicely. Screw down crown on this one and you can actually see the rubber gasket on the inside. First position is for the date, second for the handset. I'll just screw that back in. We have a 120 click unidirectional bezel fitted to this one, and it does have that Rolex style grip to it. This really nice iced effect type of bezel. Now, I wasn't really a big fan of the silver on silver that the Rhodium Rolex comes with. However, once seeing one of them in person and having hands-on with it, I really did fall for it a little bit. And this one is probably the closest that you can get for under £100. I'm not going to even broach the subject of comparing the two, but for under £100, I think that this is probably as close as I'm ever going to get. Display case back on the back of this one, that shows off this NH35 movement in the back. Pagani Design used to have pretty much every one of their watches with a display case back. However, I'm quite glad that they've moved away from that in recent times. Now, the bezel insert is where their improvement has come. It is much brighter on the polished surfaces, this ceramic bezel, and it accents the almost bead blaster type of effect that the background of this bezel insert has. Really does pop much more than the earlier iterations. As well as that, I would like to mention that the action on this one is much, much better than the early days of Pagani Design. It used to be a lot to be desired. However, I am actually quite impressed with this one, if I'm completely honest. Now, this casing is completed with a sapphire piece of crystal, which holds this Cyclops. Now, this will divide opinions, this Cyclops, and I will get to that later on in the video. 10 ATM water resistance on this piece, which is 100 meters, which leads us into the dial itself. As you can see, it has a really nice sunburst effect on that grayscale dial. We have applied indices throughout. They are lume centered, and I will show you the lume shot shortly. Up at the 12 o'clock, we have Pagani Design logo followed by the text. down at the 6, automatic, water resistant, 10 bar, 100 meters. To finally finish off the dial, we have Japan movement either side of the 6 o'clock indice there. Over at the 3 o'clock, we have the obvious date window, triangle at the 12 and batons at the 6 and 9, which is fitting to the homage that this one is attempting. With a printed minute track around the outer edge of the dial, and the handset really does fit nicely to this dial, I think. Stainless steel effect edges to the handset with a loom center. It is that Rolex Mercedes style handset that we are very, very accustomed to by now. That is completed by the Lollipop second hand, which is nicely ticking away. Obviously, you want to see the loom shot. Let's see if they've improved. So the loom is a very pale C3. It's not really holding much of a torch to anything that we see on the market. It's pretty much the exact same standard that we had in the earlier iterations. There's been no update to this, which is a shame because you do have a chance to fix the earlier mistakes when re-releasing a piece, and Pagani obviously haven't done that yet. Moving away from the head of the watch, we move on to this bracelet. I have this one on a Jubilee bracelet, and honestly, I really do love the fit on these bracelets. I think it's probably one of the better styles of bracelet that you can get on a watch. Screw links, as you would expect from Pagani, which is a nice premium feature. The Rolex style clasp with the machined fold out there. Pagani Design logo in the center on that polished finished outer edge is brushed, as you'd expect. Again, that follows through into the bracelet. This is a 5-piece Jubilee bracelet, and it actually really does fit to this very nicely. One thing I will mention though, we do have a slightly strange end link. As you can see from the back there, that it is one whole end link, and it is stepped into 2. It does leave a little bit of a strange overhang for me. Yeah, a little bit off. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't look as it probably should, how I'd expect it to. Let me pop this one on wrist for you, and we can see how it looks on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. So here's the Pagani Design PD-1651 on wrist. This is £86 on the Pagani Design wristwatch store on Aliexpress. As I say, they're the ones who've sent me this, and that's who is linked in the description. I think that the bezel is definitely much improved on this piece, and I would also say that the quality control is probably also a step up, as is the fit to that crown, the screw down crown on this piece. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have any moans, because I certainly do. It is a shame that they didn't upgrade the loom. It's definitely a part of Pagani Design that I think we all have a moan about, isn't it? Which, it's their chance to change it if they're going to upgrade their or update their earlier models, and it's a shame that they haven't done that. If you're going to fit it with a better looking bezel, I mean, the loom's right there. Just upgrade it instead of using the same part. Now, the other moans that you would expect, the Cyclops, that is going to divide people. This one is actually well magnified. However, there is no anti-reflective coating. So when it does hit the light, it is much harder to decipher what date it is. I think this is one of their better ones. However, a lot of people would just burn that off. And finally, now that we talk about quality control, this bezel is definitely misaligned. As you can see, that is out 1 second, and still, to me, looks out. So yeah, it's a shame that I've got one that isn't aligned well. I'd probably get over that if I wasn't picking apart every single thing that I possibly could in these reviews. I don't think that's a major deal. In fact, I'd get over it personally. I know that a lot of people would probably say differently, but personally I get over that. And finally, the brushing I mentioned, that is actually quite nice over to the lugs here, all very well aligned, right? And then we go to the upper side lug, and it looks like an ill swipe from the brushing up there, and it is a bit of a shame because the rest of the watch is very well finished. Again, QR issues that we have probably become a little bit more accustomed to, considering we're buying such a high caliber of specifications for such a low price on the market. But again, probably one of Pagani Design's best releases for me. I still have my original one, and I still love it. I still wear it to golf every now and then, and yeah, it serves me well. That's all you can really ask for a watch that comes in under £100. So guys, the PD-1651, it's been an absolute staple in my collection for a number of years now. And I like to wear it when I'm on the golf course or any sort of sporting activity because it looks a bit premium, but I'm not afraid of absolutely smashing it to pieces. And that's what these watches really do add to a collection like my own. Otherwise, if this is something that you're gonna pick up and really, really adore, it still has those looks. So I think it fits a lot of people across the spectrum, especially when it's coming in at such a low price considering the market nowadays. £86 on the Pagani Design wristwatch store can have you one of these, and I don't think it's a bad buy at all. Personally though, I'd probably opt for the rose gold version on the rubber strap. That's my favourite out of the bunch. If you liked this video, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you would like to see in future videos, watches that I should pick up to have a look at. Thank you for watching this one, guys. I'll see you in the next one.